Good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you are actually viewing this. This is our Wake Up Flow. Welcome to Tuesday. Let's begin today. Feet about shoulder width apart, knees nice and soft, upper torso upright. You can imagine your head being pulled up by a string to line out the neck, and then tuck your chin back just a bit. Let's begin to turn the upper torso from side to side, just letting the arms swing freely. We'll loosen up a little bit, and we'll go through a few forms from a set known as the 8 brocades. Very ancient set, been around for some 800 years in various forms, different Qigong traditions, different family lineages have somewhat different interpretations of this. Ones that we'll use today come out of the Shaolin tradition. A little bit different. A little bit more breath focus in these. A little bit slower set. And they are a little bit more rigorous, I would say, than some of the other interpretations that we sometimes do. Let's take the hands into loose fists and begin tapping on the lower belly and lower back. Acupressure points in this part of our body are energy center, known in the Eastern movement disciplines as the lower dantian. That gets our body temp up just a little bit, get a little fluid in the joints. And let us settle in and prepare to spend the next few minutes taking care of ourselves. Let's begin to deepen out the breath. Pulling the breath down deep into the belly, breathing in through the nose if you're able. And then taking a long, full, and conscious out breath through either the mouth or the nose. The key to all this is the breathing. You marry up breath and body movement, you get just enormous benefits. Let's take the front hand up the body a bit and knock that front hand in the little hollow space between the shoulder and the chest. In the various tapping disciplines, this tapping point is used to relieve stress and reduce anxiety. Also has a prominent place within Qigong in the meridian tapping as the end point of the lung meridian. Said to be good to promote immunity, and a fitting one this time of year. 5-element theory, autumn is associated with the metal element, and its seasonal association is autumn. Let's come back down to the belly. Just a few more. Let's begin to consciously shift the weight from side to side. rolling onto the inside and outside of each foot as the weight shifts back and forth. And then let's float the hands back off the body. Turn that tap into a reach. As you reach across, let the momentum of that arm swing. Pull the trailing heel off the floor. And as we prepare to connect directly to the breath, let's slow this down and shrink the movements down until we can come back to rest in our neutral starting position that we call Wuji. So let's breathe in as we spread the elbows apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then breathe out, fold that all back in, and gently round the back. Called the spinal cord breathing. Letting the body move directly to the breath. Let the breath be your guide to the cadence. You don't need to pace off from my movements, but rather pace off from your breath. Breathing in as we rise and expand. Breathing out as we relax and release. And for the last few, let's get a little turn at the top. Inside of your comfort zone. Come back to center to breathe out. Just a gentle twist. And let's take one last one. And then rise. With the arms float out back to the sides. And we begin with a little bit different take on the commencing move. Lifting, hands turn over, the chest, press down. Breathing in and breathing out. Turning the hands over, but unlike a move that we use this time of year where we raise up onto the toes and really flex the wrists hard, we're just relaxed here, just breathing with the motion. Let's take one more. At the bottom, spread your hands out just a bit more. Turn the palms up and lift as you breathe in. Turn the hands over at the shoulders. Press them high overhead. Gently arch your back and hold here. Just take a couple of breaths here. And on a long exhale, turn the hands back over and let them gently float on down. Palms face upward, lift. Breathing in, turn the hands over, breathing out, press them high overhead, gently arch your back and hold. Hold the position, not your breath. On an exhale, turn the palms back toward the floor. Long breath out as the hands float down. Let's do one more like that. This is pressing up against the sky. And on an exhale, hands float back down, coming all the way to the side. And then between each form, we go back to that starting move, just gently lifting. Hands turn over at the chest, breathing out, clearing the way for the next movement. Hands float up to the side, making loose fists. Sweep all the way across the body. One hand extended. Turn that hand into an aiming point, like you're shooting a bow. Raise the elbow. Breathing out, pull back on the bowstring. And we hold in this position and take a few breaths. On an exhale, relax the hands. And then inhale. Hands float across. Inside hand becomes that aiming point. Outside hand forms a fist. They trade places, draw back on the bow. Just a few breaths here, holding in this position. And then on an exhale, take that aiming point hand, fold it in, flatten the hands toward the floor, and let them press down. And back to that beginning clearing move, rising. Hands turn over, hands press down. Hands float back up again at the level of the chest. Both palms turn over. One presses high, one presses low. Let your eyes follow the top hand. Hold in this position. Take a few breaths. On an exhale, hands begin to come back together. Take a big inhale as they pass each other, and then press them apart. As you exhale and hold a few breaths here. On an exhale, hands come back toward each other, leveling out at the chest and pressing down. And we'll take it into our close. That was the first 3 movements out of the 8 brocades. Later today, we'll be doing the full set. One more time, rising overhead. Palms turn over at the top. Let them press down. Let's take one more of those. This time, let's raise up onto the heels. Raise the heels onto the toes, and then lower the heels as you press down. At the bottom, toss one hand away. Follow it overhead. A long out breath. Let that hand trace down the midline of the body. Other side. And then let the hands come together. Hand over hand. Place those back over the lower belly. Step the feet in just a touch. And let's take 3 nice long deep breaths. Nice big breath on the third one here. And as you release that breath, release the hands, the eyes come back open, and give everything a little shake. Thanks for joining me for our Wake Up Flow. Have a great Tuesday. Namaste.